Hey, what's up? At first glance, this might look like just another model project, but this one is a little different. The idea for this project started with this book. It became my main source of information, helping me create a specific section of the Nimitz-Class flight deck. The goal was not only to build a realistic diorama, but also to use this project as a test of what CNC machining can bring to the world of scale modeling. I specifically designed this model to explore as many possibilities of CNC machining as possible. Of course, some of these parts could also be created using resin 3D printing, but the purpose of this project is not just the final model. It is also about discovering where CNC machining fits alongside the other tools available to modern modelers. So let's fire up the machines and get started. For this project, I'll be using the Carvera Air desktop CNC machine. I actually received this machine with one specific goal in mind, to find out whether CNC machining has a place in the world of scale modeling. Despite its compact size, it's capable of milling plastics, wood, carbon fiber, and even metals like aluminum and brass. According to the manufacturer, it's designed to make CNC machining approachable even for people with little or no previous experience. So this project became the perfect opportunity to put those claims to the test. One feature I really appreciate is the removable rear panel. It allows longer pieces of material to pass straight through the machine, making it possible to machine parts that would otherwise be too large for such a compact CNC. A big part of CNC machining is work holding. Different materials and different jobs often require different ways of securing the workpiece. Before any machining can begin, the material has to be securely fixed in place. Even the slightest movement could ruin the part, especially when you are working with details measured in fractions of a millimeter. Unlike 3D printing, where material is added layer by layer, CNC machining works the opposite way. A rotating cutting tool removes material until only the finished part remains. That approach offers some major advantages: sharp edges, perfectly flat surfaces, and perhaps most importantly, repeatability. Once the tool paths are ready, the machine can produce identical parts over and over again with remarkable precision. With everything secured, it's finally time to see what this little machine can do. Before the machine starts cutting, there is one more important step: making sure that everything is exactly where it should be. The Carvera Air uses a laser probe to scan the work area before machining begins. This allows the machine to check the actual position and size of the material, while also making sure that the cutting path will not collide with any clamps. Another important measurement is the real thickness of the material. Even small variations can affect the final result, so knowing the exact surface height allows the machine to compensate and maintain accuracy throughout the process. Once the measurements are complete, the laser probe is replaced with the cutting tool. Before the first cut, the machine measures the exact length of the tool, and then it can finally begin removing material. From this point on, the CNC takes over. The cutting tool follows the programmed tool paths, gradually transforming a simple piece of material into a finished part. Another interesting application of CNC machining in this project was creating the anti-slip texture on the flight deck. For this detail, I used a small engraving bit that follows a precise pattern across the surface of the material. Creating details like this is one of the areas where CNC machining can be very useful in scale modeling. Once the tool path is prepared, the machine can reproduce the pattern across the entire surface with very fine detail. Later, I also added a 4th axis module, which expands the possibilities even further. Instead of machining only flat surfaces, the machine can now work with cylindrical shapes. Even though the CNC machine does most of the work, the parts are not finished the moment they come out of the machine. To keep the workpiece securely attached during machining, small tabs are left in place. These tiny connections prevent the part from moving while being cut, but they have to be removed manually afterwards. After separating the parts from the material, the finishing process is actually very familiar to any scale modeler. A little sanding is needed to remove the remaining marks and smooth out the surfaces. For the plastic parts, this means cleaning up the small attachment point left from machining. With the wooden parts, the goal is slightly different: to remove rough edges and small splinters created during cutting. With all the individual parts finished, it's time to bring them together into one piece. One of the advantages of designing the parts specifically for CNC machining is that they are created to fit together accurately. However, even with precise parts, assembly is still a process that requires careful alignment and adjustment. For the wooden base structure, I'm using PVA glue combined with clamps to keep everything perfectly positioned while the glue cures. The same type of glue is also used for the plastic deck sections. The reason for using PVA instead of a faster adhesive is simple. These parts do not have locating pins, so I need some working time to make small adjustments and ensure that everything lines up correctly with surrounding parts. Once the glue has fully cured, the remaining gaps between the plastic sections need to be filled. After applying putty and sanding it smooth, the separate pieces start to disappear and the whole surface begins to look like one continuous part rather than a collection of individual components. For some parts of this project, CNC machining was not the option. This is where resin 3D printing comes in. I used my Halot X-1 resin printer to create smaller and more complex parts. After printing, the parts go through the usual post-processing steps. One important step is removing the printing supports. For delicate resin parts, I prefer to remove the supports before the final UV curing. At this stage, the resin is still slightly flexible, which makes removing supports safer and reduces the chance of damaging small details. Of course, accidents can still happen. If a small part breaks during cleanup, I usually repair it with a small amount of CA glue. By applying accelerator, the glue cures almost instantly, allowing me to carefully remove any excess material and sand the repair smooth. With the CNC parts and 3D printed details finished, the project finally starts to look like the aircraft carrier deck I had imagined. At this stage, the most important thing is not only making the parts fit together, but also planning the assembly in a way that will make painting easier later. Instead of permanently assembling everything at once, I divide the model into smaller sections that can still be separated when needed. This allows me to reach areas that would otherwise be difficult to paint or weather. For most of the connections, I use CA glue together with accelerator. It provides a strong bond and allows me to work quickly when positioning the parts. However, not every part needs to be permanently glued at this stage. For some areas, I use transparent double-sided tape instead. This keeps the parts securely in place while still allowing me to remove them later during the painting process. One of the characteristic details on a carrier flight deck are the blue utility drums placed around the working areas. For this project, I designed both closed versions and open versions of the drums. The open ones need some extra detail inside, so I decided to add coiled hoses. To create this effect, I first filled the empty space inside the drum with a small piece of foam. This gave me a base and the correct height for the detail. On top of that, I added a piece of rolled lead wire to represent visible side of the coiled hose. Another important piece for the flight deck is the deck tractor. For this part, I'm using a resin kit from RESKIT. The preparation process is very similar to the parts shown earlier, so after removing the supports, it's time to start the assembly. This is also a nice opportunity to see the difference between professionally designed aftermarket parts and my own components. The level of detail and precision that companies like RESKIT can achieve is really impressive. The kit itself is very well designed. The parts fit together well, and thanks to the relatively small number of components, the assembly process is very straightforward. With the finished parts finally coming together, it's much easier to imagine the final scene. The flight deck, the tractor, the equipment, and the figures are starting to create the atmosphere I was aiming for from the beginning. After this first larger project using a CNC machine, I can definitely see a lot of potential for this technology in scale modeling. One of the biggest advantages is the ability to create perfectly flat and precise surfaces, which opens up many possibilities for model bases, diorama platforms, and even larger structures such as bridges or architectural elements. Another interesting area is creating detailed surface textures and reliefs. The precision of the machine makes it possible to add very fine patterns directly into the material. I also really like the possibility of working with materials such as wood. Of course, this is only the beginning. I still have a lot to learn, and I'm looking forward to exploring what else can be created with this technology in the future. One more thing I would like to mention is the accessibility of the Carvera Air. Before starting this project, my practical experience with CNC machining was very limited. After going through the included materials and learning the basic workflow, I was able to successfully set up the machine and start creating real parts. For me, this is one of the most interesting aspects of this machine. It makes CNC machining much more approachable for people who may not have a background in this field but still want to explore what this technology can offer. And that's it for this part of the project. Thank you very much for watching all the way to the end. A special thank you goes to my Patreon supporters who help me continue creating projects like this. I would also love to hear your thoughts about CNC machining in scale modeling. What do you think about this technology? What would you like to see created with CNC machine? Let me know in the comments. I would really like to hear your ideas. In the next video, I will finally bring this diorama to life with paint and weathering. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.